Hello everyone, this is Johannes.
And this is Cinema.
And you are watching Board Gaming Ramblings.
And today we are taking a look at Covenant.
This is an upcoming Spiel release, so thank you so much for sending us the copy, We're going to take a look at it, and then we're going to go to Spiel pretty soon. We're going to be there. If you're going to be there, please find us, say hi to us, and show us the secret sign. We would love to see that walking around. That's really cool. If you want to make sure to find us, we will be at the Aporta Alliance Shilofox booth area from 10 to 2 on Sunday and 1 to 5 on Sunday. Yes. First Saturday, 10 to 2 on Saturday, Sunday. 1 to 5 on Sunday. Doing demos. If you want to play something, come and find us there. But today, it's going to be all about Covenant. As always, we're going to do a brief overview. I'm not going to do the whole thing because there is a lot.
There's a lot.
The core concepts aren't that complicated. It is a worker placement game where you have your own worker placement spots. You're going to start with these 4 and you can build more. These are buildable worker placement spots. So I'm going to take one of my dwarfs, which has a value from 1 to 4, starting at 1 being boring, and I'm going to place it out and do one of the 4 actions. It might be mining, getting more resources, and exploring this cave. It might be attacking the monsters that have taken over the cave. It might be transporting goods out here to build these or get these gates and pillars available to you. And it might also be building the buildings out on the map. Those are the 4 things you will be doing, but there is a lot of other things you will be doing as well. You'll be getting these coins to get instant bonuses and also bonuses at the end of each round. You will be building more of these in the forge. You'll be building upgrades to your actions to make them better. You will get these tradition tiles that gives you a permanent ability that triggers every time something specific happens, and you will also have scorings. There's so many things you can unlock here and there and do all of these things, and you're of course trying to do it for points. At the end of the game, you're going to score a lot of points during the game, and at the end of the game you're going to score for objectives. If you manage to come over 4 or 8 of these lines, you will every round you will score for the monsters you have in your dungeon. You will score for different objectives that are set up at the beginning of the game, and points here and there and other final scorings as well. But that is like a brief overview of what you will be doing, trying to do these things in the best way possible to score the most points.
This has the core mechanism of like a worker placement, but you have your own worker placement. You're only blocking yourself.
Yes.
And that means also there is no competition for the different spots.
That's true.
But in the beginning, you only have 4 action spaces, as you said, for one of each. So if I'm going for example, a heavy attack strategy, I might go and find myself another one of those. So that's the only way I can do the same action more times in a round. I really like that.
There is a lot of stuff going on. And as I said, the building of these is not only because you want to have that specific action.
That's right.
And we love this. We love different reasons for doing a thing. But you'll also get a bonus. You might unlock more spaces in your dungeon. Like in the beginning, you only have space for 2 monsters at the end of the round. You will unlock more spaces throwing things on the floor. Boom, found it. You will upgrade to get more spaces to have resources. And you will get more instant bonuses. But by placing it down, you also unlock a final scoring for a specific thing. So depending on the player board you have and depending on the strategy you will be like, oh, but I really want that bonus, but I'm not going to go for that scoring. So is it worth going for that bonus? Should I then go for the scoring? And that is something I really like. You also have beer in this game.
Yes, because how good an action is depends on the strength of that worker. And if you have, for example, a level 1 worker, he's just going to have 1 strength, but you can give him beer, level 1 or level 2 beer, and he will get stronger for that. Like, it's a one-time effect, but sometimes a lot of times, that's really helpful in doing what you want.
You had kind of a symbol overload the first couple times you played this game.
Yes, it's a very simple, heavy game. I didn't remember to...
I thought you said a very simple, heavy game.
No,
I was like, what do you mean? A simple, heavy game. Okay, yeah, that makes more sense.
It actually has a little leaflet. I forgot to bring the player aid, but it's more like a player leaflet. And I think the symbology in this game is very clear. It's very good, actually. But there is a lot of comboing that might be done. You have potential to do a lot of combos. Be like, okay, I'm doing this action that gives me up on this track. That will give me this artifact, for example. Then it will give me the opportunity to deliver. Then I will get this building. Then I will get up on this track. It could be turns like that. Not every single turn will be like that.
Nope.
But my brain really struggles to follow through, like to anticipate all those steps that can be done. So for me, that felt a little overwhelming in the beginning.
I think it really depends. Like for me, I didn't have that problem, but it really depends on how you are. But after a couple of plays, it's going to be simpler. But just know, if you usually have a problem of remembering, as I said, like the turn, the flow, and all of that, it has a lot of steps.
Yeah.
It is a game that feels pretty tight. But even though you have only 12 actions in the game, it's not one where I feel like one mistake will take you out of the game.
Yeah.
Let's say you do 3 mistakes, maybe you will soon get out of the game. Like if you do 3 horrible actions and you could have done better ones. But the timing is important.
Yes.
And the order, the tools that you buy so that you can do the same action multiple times is important. There is like a book that you can get, which is like a Joker action. That might be very flexible, but then that doesn't have space for these upgrades, but you're not going to get upgrades for all of them anyways. And it feels like every decision is very important, but it's not like a one mistake and you're out.
I agree. And especially when you're playing with 3 or 4 players, timing can be very crucial because the state of the board can change more between your turns, both in what is available to actually deliver to, but also the monsters and spaces that you are allowed to build on, which felt pretty tense at moments.
Let's talk a bit about player counts. I played the game at all player counts. You have only played 2 and 4.
Yes.
I also got to play 3. And I think this is one of those games. We often say that, oh, this was great with 2. You don't really need the other players. This was great at 2 and 3 and 4. And I never felt like it outstayed its welcome. With 2 players, it was around 1:15, 1:30. With 3 players, like 1:45, 2 players, a bit more than 2 hours. So not a long game. And if you play it multiple times in the same group, you can get it easy down to 2 hours, I think, with 4 players, which is a great length of time. There's going to be a bigger map with more players. And also you're going to have like the interaction. There is not that much of interaction in the game.
Yes. But that's absolutely more present with more than 2 players, I would say.
Yeah, and one of the things about this game is that it's interesting because you're trying to do your thing, but sometimes depending on, especially in a 2-player game, I feel like it might happen that in multiplayer game, more people will build on the same spaces.
Yeah.
Which means, because at the end of the game, you're going to get negative points for the monsters. So let's say, for example, here, you have built here, and I built in the middle here, which means that we are both adjacent to this space.
Yeah.
Which means we're both going to get negative points. So if you're going for a monster strategy, it's a higher chance you're going to discard or defeat the enemy, which won't happen as much in a 2-player game. But there is possibilities to do a lot of different things, I would say, like different paths to victory.
Oh, yes, absolutely. You could easily go a game and don't kill any monsters at all. Or don't deliver anything. Well, maybe not.
Oh, I think you could. Like there is...
I had a round where I almost didn't mine at all. I didn't do anything here because when I killed the monsters, it got me resources instead.
Yeah.
So I feel like every path is viable and you can do a little bit of each or you can focus heavy into some parts of the game.
Let's talk a bit about the rulebook, because the last big The Weird game, Transgalactica, had what looked like a good rulebook. Then we started playing the game and so many of the symbols didn't make sense. This is not the problem here. The rulebook, I would say, is very good. It's long, it's like 40 pages, but a lot of that is solitaire and the reference, so it's like 25 pages, something like that. And I would say it's very clear, it's very concise. There's a couple of nuances here and there, like in the setup, there's a couple of things that may like throw you off and make you unsure. There is one thing that is missing from the board, and one thing we're unsure about. So I'm going to say those 2 things. The one thing is, on this track, the first time we played, we were like, this track is very bad. Because when you move up on the track, it's basically giving you a possibility that when you get a relic, you can get a relic from the space that you're on and upwards. But what you're actually supposed to do is that when you go to this space, you then get a relic. So it's missing, like over here, you see there's these different symbols. This is like a relic symbol. So I guess like they thought it was enough to have it there. Because over there, you see like there's a symbol on the specific spaces.
Yes.
But basically it means every time you reach a new level of relics, you get a relic, which made the game better. And also this track make more sense, because or else there was only 2 places in the whole game that you could get a relic, which was made the relic strategy not viable.
Yep.
The other thing, which I think is a misprint, we haven't been able to find out, is this is the 1 to 2 player board. On the other side, so let's say just very briefly, I'm going to explain it. When I place here, I can see that I'm only supposed to place 1 resource, then I'm going to get my building from it, and then I'm going to be able to get one of those bonuses. So there's 4 spaces there. On the 3 and 4 player side, there is 4 spaces. On this side, it's 4 spaces, which means over here, it's not a race anymore. Because when you're playing with 4 players, it's the first player gets 3 movements, then 3 movements, then 2, and then 1. So it might be that it's supposed to be this way, but then it could just be like this.
Yeah.
If it wasn't supposed to be a race. I like it more as a race. So when we play 2, we have basically played with the first and the last. It could be the first and the third, or it could be this way. It just like it didn't make sense to me because everything else is like smaller. So and it takes away a race element of that. So I'm hoping this is wrong. We will find out.
Yeah.
But this is a much better production than Transgalactica, which is a game we like. We still kept it because the game is fantastic. It just had those problems.
Yes.
Luckily, it has a new rulebook. This doesn't need a new rulebook. I feel like a couple of clarifications, but not a problem, I would say. So, who do you think is going to like this game?
Oh, if you like tracks, because there's a lot of tracks in the game, and a lot of the thing about the game is trying to go up on the track so you get actually the things that you want. For example, upgrading your dwarves, you need to go on this track to be able to do that a lot of times.
Or you could do other things.
Other stuff.
Yes.
But you will move on the tracks, and also...
You will. I was just shooting like it's not a track game. Like some people don't like tracks. It's not. I would not say this is a track-heavy game. It has 3 tracks.
Okay.
And it's not like the track movement is important, but it's more like I'm doing this action and then I get to move on the track.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm just so if you like hate tracks, I don't think you're gonna like it.
So
but like
do you think it's for Johannes?
If you love tracks, I think you're gonna love this. No, it's a heavy Euro.
Yeah.
If you like heavy Euro games, it has a sense of build your own scoring, which I really enjoy. Which I think like if you like that, you're gonna like it. But you need to like heavy Euros. You need to like a pretty tight game. It's not the tightest, so if you like, it's not in the higher end of that. It doesn't have a lot of interaction. It has a little bit of interaction, but it works very well with 2, 3, and 4 players. So it's like a good viable source for that. I think those are there's not a lot of randomness. There is a little bit of randomness in what comes out here.
Yeah.
But that's usually not going to be like, this is usually not going to be like, yeah, you know, I finally can do my thing. This is a bit random that these are getting rolled every time somebody gets it. It's just adding to the race.
Yeah.
Like, because if I really need this, I have to attack that now.
Yes.
In the timing, or else somebody else might take it and I will get something I don't need. So I wouldn't say the randomness is a problem. And that's who I think will like the game.
Yeah.
People.
It is a game where, well, I at least feel like I want to do all this stuff.
Yes.
And I won't be able to do it all. It feels like a pretty short game in that sense. As like you would love it for it to be around more, because then you would achieve this and this and that. But that is the way it should be, I feel like.
Yeah.
I want the game to be leaving me with this feeling of, oh, next time I'm going to try to do this and this.
Are you doing final thoughts now?
It's just like, if you like that kind of game.
You're like working into final thoughts. Let's
always. I like this game, even though it's a little heavy for my brain to comprehend all the possibilities and what the best possible action for me is right now. Because my brain is very keen on optimization. So that makes it kind of a AP game for me. But along as the
with
people...
that said, it takes 80 minutes for us to play with 2 players. I think it's
and I
pretty
think
good.
60 minutes of those is me thinking.
About.
So as long as the people that I'm with thinks that it's okay, I'm having super fun with this game. So I think this is maybe actually the best game that I've played this year. It's just so much fun. And it's fun trying to see all the possibilities. And it's fun trying to make this super cool combo turn and try to do that action right before you do it. So I get this coin that I really want, or that space that I really want. And just super fun to play. So I'm going to give this a 9.
I think Covenant is fantastic. I think, like I just said, we played a Lost game recently, and I said this is the reason I play board games for feelings like this. From the first time I played this, I was like, this is fun. This is one of the. It's hard. It's getting harder and harder. It's going to be hard to make top 10 this year. There is a lot of great games coming out this year. If you are into heavy Euro games, this is a great year. I feel like most years are, but so far this is shaping out to be a very good year for the heavy Euro. And I'm so happy we got to play this now and cover it before Spiel, because this is fantastic. I love all my seconds playing this game, maybe except for the 5 minutes I'm waiting for you to understand how your turn works. But like the puzzle of the order, and then trying to say like, okay, but which of the tools should I get? And then I love the building up the scoring, because I'm thinking, oh, I really want to get this scoring or unlock, like let's say I want to do this, but I'm not going to go for attacks at all. So this player board, that's not a good combination. And there is variability. It is a puzzle that you're not going to be able to do perfectly, which makes it good. There is a lot of tension. The tension of, oh, hope you don't do that. Hope I get to do this thing before that. And just a lot of fun. I'm going to give this a 9 as well. I would have loved for the small things to be better, like the graphic things, getting an answer for this. And I hope it's not like, it doesn't matter. I hope it's supposed to be fewer spaces. But that's going to be the end.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for watching. If you are watching all the way to the end, you can subscribe. You can also subscribe in the beginning. That's too late for me to say now.
That's true.
Yes, that's the end. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Johannes.
I'm Cinema.
And you've been watching Board Gaming Ramblings, and bye-bye.